This video is brought to you by the EA Creator Network. My opinions are my own, and thank you to EA for sending me free codes for the two kits. Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another, pair of kit reviews this time. So, there's been a lot of focus on build mode lately, but finally we got some more Create a Sim related kits. Both of these kits are inspired by Asian cultures. We have the Fashion Street kit, which is inspired by styles that are seen in India, more specifically Fashion Street in Mumbai. And we have the Incheon Arrivals, which focuses on South Korean fashion and just like the airport fashion when celebrities get off of the plane. The latter sounds like a pretty random place to get inspiration from, coming from someone who didn't know that airport fashion was actually a trend. But let's start showing off all the items from both of these kits. We'll go over Fashion Street first. As someone who is partly South Asian, more specifically from Sri Lanka, I think it is really great to have more of these kinds of items in the game inspired by India fashion, even if it's not through the method of DLC that I personally prefer. There's some very vibrant and colorful patterns going on here, which definitely represents India-inspired fashion very well, but there are some plainer options as well. Even the masculine options I think are pretty decent, and there are some new accessories too. There's the new pair of glasses, and we'll see the other ones a bit later. But the glasses are pretty interesting, I think. They have a different sort of style that we don't really have with the other glasses currently in the game. Next, here are the separates for the masculine fashion, and even this piece is already a good example of having a mixture of some pattern swatches as well as some plain ones. With the bottoms, I'm really surprised how shiny that first one was. I don't think it's bad, I just was surprised by how different it was. I'm not used to seeing cast assets in The Sims 4 having that much shine to them. And yeah, with a couple of the bottoms, I did just temporarily take off the top so you could actually see the waistline better since there is some detail to them. Once again, a pretty decent mixture of plain swatches and pattern ones. Now here's the rest of the accessories in the kit. So there is a nose piercing, which I think is pretty nice. Also a pair of earrings, a choker, and the glasses that we saw earlier. Definitely makes a lot of sense to have some focus on jewelry when it comes to having fashion inspired by India, and I think they are all pulled off pretty nicely in-game. Moving on to the rest of the feminine fashion, I think it is also done very well. And that top is another one of those surprisingly really shiny pieces, but does come in a lot of colorful variations. I think this shirt is also very pretty, some really nice swatches, and I love the shaping of the sleeves, and really cool to have some elephant-themed swatches too. Moving on to the bottoms, once again, I think there is a nice variety of plain and pattern swatches, and the styles I think are very nice, and is something that I would expect to see if I were to go to India. It is interesting seeing the approach they took with this kit, where they do have a mix of both modern and traditional clothing. Now the feminine full body outfits, I absolutely love these. Just look at the colors on this sari jumper. So awesome, I can't wait to use this. And this more traditional outfit, I love the colors here as well. Just looks so gorgeous, really pops with the art style of The Sims 4. Then we have this more traditional looking sari here. Love the variety of color swatches for this one too, like this just looks amazing to me. We also have two new pairs of sandals that are available on both the masculine and feminine frames, which is pretty nice. And I like the color swatches for this as well. Overall, I think they did a great job on the Fashion Street kit. I think it's my new favorite kit overall. Even though I'm not really a fan of kits in general, I think the actual assets on display here are really nice, and it makes me excited to make more Indian Sims because I haven't made that many. Because we had some in City Living, but not a whole lot. So now I feel like I have a lot more to work with. I think my only complaints are that I still don't think there's quite enough items to be worth half the price of a stuff pack, and there's nothing for toddlers or children. I think that would have boosted the usefulness of this kit even more for me. Though, sadly, the lack of toddler and children content also applies to the other kit which we're about to go over now, Incheon Arrivals. So as mentioned earlier, this kit is inspired by South Korean airport fashion, which brings us more cozy styles and oversized shirts. We're gonna start off with the feminine fashion, so I love this full body outfit, but I wish there was also an option to have the top separately with the turtleneck, because I think this looks super adorable. Then we have this trench coat outfit, which, yes! I really wanted more outfits like this in the game. I think this looks really great. So then we move on to the tops. And I think there's some really nice stuff going on here too. This top's pretty cute. I think it goes well with the sort of business attire. And I was so caught off guard by those plaid swatches. Was not expecting that, but it was a nice sort of surprise. And we have this oversized hoodie, which I think will be pretty popular. Then we have another top, which just really reminds me of a more business sort of attire with a turtleneck underneath. And this sweater vest, I think, is really cute too. I love the Argyle swatches in particular, but I think this will get a lot of use from me. Moving on to the bottoms, we have this pair of pants, which I think goes very well with a business sort of attire once again. Quite a few swatches too, which is nice. This skirt is probably one of my favorite items in this kit. It's super cute. Love the styling on the side there. Yeah, definitely looking forward to using that one. There's also a very long skirt that I think pairs very well with the oversized hoodie. You can actually see that in one of the official screenshots that EA released. And then we have a pair of track pants, another pair of pants too, but they look a little distorted on the feminine frame, because I think this was originally made for the masculine frame. Yeah, especially this one around the crotch area. It's just, what? This somehow got past quality assurance. I don't know. I think this needs to be fixed, even though it probably won't be. Then we have 3 new pairs of shoes. This first one here is for the feminine frame, and then the other 2 are unisex. I love how the shoes look in this kit. I think they all stand out and have some really nice swatches too. And especially with these running shoes, make a lot of sense for what you wear when you're just traveling around on an airplane. So overall, I think there's some really nice pieces for the feminine fashion that I could imagine using on a variety of sims, but there's definitely a few that need fixing. Moving on to the masculine fashion with the full body outfits, we have a trench coat for them as well, which is cool, and some really nice patterns too. And it's interesting having sort of like the strings dangling there. Then we have a button shirt paired with track pants. Again, it is a little strange to me that these are not available separately, but I guess it's been the norm for a long time now, where with these sorts of options, we just have to rely on custom content. Moving on to the tops, we have some pretty cozy looking stuff going on here. I love the Semlish swatch logo that's in the middle of this one, and just the general look of it I think is pretty nice. We have a jacket here with a shirt underneath. I guess this one isn't too different from some other pieces that we already have, but this one is interesting. A very oversized jacket with a very fluffy looking texture to that, and some interesting swatches for it too. Then we have the masculine bottoms, which for the most part are the same as what we saw for feminine. I was surprised even the skirt was available. That's pretty cool. But this pair of pants we hadn't seen earlier, and I love how the belt is just hanging down like that. Yeah, definitely makes sense with the sort of airport fashion that they're going for here. But yeah, see, these pants, they don't look so bad on the masculine frame, so yeah, it really does seem like that's what they were made for in the first place. So the masculine fashion got some surprisingly good stuff this time around, and overall, I'd say I'd like this kit too, though there are some odd glitches. Even with the style looks, it changes the hair there, I don't know why. But I think this style is interesting. Even though we've gotten plenty of cozy clothing in The Sims 4, there's some that actually stand out and feel different from what we have before. And due to its versatility, I might end up using this more than the Fashion Street kit, even though I like the Fashion Street kit more. Now it's time to wrap up my general thoughts on these two kits. So there's no denying, the price for this is pretty steep. If you buy both of these at the same time, you are going to be paying the same price as for a stuff pack, which I think is pretty ridiculous. because I think you would get a lot more of just a well-rounded package if you bought one of the newer stuff packs, especially like Nifty Knitting or Paranormal. So a lot of this is going to be up to taste, but I think objectively these are still too expensive, even though I think the quality of the items, for the most part, I think are really, really good. While both of these kits I think pair pretty well with city living, I still hope that we could get worlds in the future and potentially gameplay that match up with these cultures too. Because actually one of my most wanted worlds right now is something inspired from India. I think that would be amazing. That's something we've never seen in The Sims before. As I've said in a lot of previous videos, I love that we're getting more representation for cultures outside of North America in The Sims 4, but I don't think kits are the correct way to do this. I am annoyed that children and toddlers are completely left out though. At least the throwback fit kit had a little bit for children and toddlers, but this time there's nothing at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually do get kits that are specifically themed around children and toddlers. So while these two may end up being my favorite kits, they still don't change my mind on the overall concept of them. I still wish they would just scrap kits entirely and go back to making more of the other packs, as well as refreshing existing ones, because hey, that Spa Day one? I think that was pretty cool. But it looks like we're going to be getting 4 kits instead of a stuff pack this fall, which is really unfortunate in my opinion because the stuff packs were just getting good and more worth their price, so so frustrating. I'm definitely concerned about the future of The Sims, not in terms of whether it will stick around or not, but the quality of it, because as time goes on, they are really favoring more and more smaller packs rather than giving us more in the bigger packs where it really counts. But I'm going to end off this video here, so feel free to let me know in the comment section below what you think of the Fashion Street and Incheon Arrival kits, and be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest gaming content, including life simulations and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!